What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week of Hero or Zero here on the Heroes for Hire podcast. My name is Sean Meehan, and joining me, as always, is man involved in a helicopter crash, Mr. Conor Lawler.
Oh no! Good.
Good teamwork, I like it.
We're a terrible improv group, but we're taking your town by storm. So yeah, I want to give
20
a shout.
quid a ticket.
But by the way, give a big massive shout out to my Indonesian fans. We were top 20 this week on iTunes in Indonesia, which begs the question. Yeah. And the first question I always have is how? Because Irish people don't even understand our accents, so how the fuck?
The comics is a universal language, Conor.
Comic books and comic book character. What we're going to say is maybe, I don't know, a chair is a universal character.
Chairs exist in all cultures,
yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
So, it's a great equalizer.
So shout to them, but guys, why are we not top 20 in your random country? Come on.
Yeah, America.
Yeah, fuck you guys. So this is Hero Zero. This is the show where we choose one comic book character every single week. We talk their good points and their bad points, and we generally just give you a bit of a rundown of everything to do with that character. Now, I normally choose DC characters, so Batman, Superman, all them. Sean normally chooses Marvel characters, Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man.
Yeah.
I forgot all of the other ones.
That's why you hit the big three, really.
Yeah, they're the big three. So if this is your first episode, you don't have to do anything, just chill out. If it's your second or above, we'd really appreciate 5 stars, a like, a follow, a share. Whatever star rating system or whatever someone asked me about the Amazon rating system this week, about Amazon.
I didn't know there was one.
Look, I don't know, man. I honestly, I'm not quite sure. I haven't looked at all of them, but there has to be some sort of ranking system, I assume. A thumbs up,
yeah, a happy face, a green light.
But on Spotify, we do have the 5 stars. If you could really click on the 3 dots, click rate show, you can rate it there. iTunes has the usual stuff, our Apple Podcasts. But Sean, it is your week. Last week I did Starman, so I'm interested to know how are you going to follow up a very cool character that I picked because I knew you'd like them.
I picked a very cool character that I picked because I know I'd like them. So
this is our relationship.
I've realised the trick with Hero or Zero is I
Yeah.
can just pick the shit that I like. Okay?
Yeah.
And at the minute, the only comics I'm reading is the new Ultimate Universe from
We're like
Marvel.
5 years in, Sean, and we're just discovering this now, or what's the story?
Yeah. Turns out, things that you like, you're really excited to talk about. And I'm going to... Conor doesn't know this. I'm going to show him something that's going to terrify him. Because I have handwritten notes for this one.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, Lord.
Because this character debuted, Conor, in October of 2024.
I am... Okay. Okay. I have some points. And my point would be the fact that the reason why we choose characters that people send in to us at Hero or Zero that we might not like is because inevitably, especially with some of your characters, Sean, people have said that I can be quite mean, maybe dismissive of the bullshit, the shit that you kind of throw out in your Hero or Zeros.
I support
that. I do feel you might take it more personal if it's something you like.
No, but this is just a genuinely really cool character that I just think they're neat.
Okay, so they first appeared in October, so literally last month.
Last month, October 2024, they appeared in issue number 4 of the Ultimates, and issue number 5 came out like last week. So
Great. Fantastic.
Brand new, a bit to go on. I think, but it's a really nice jumping on point if you think you like this character.
I'm going to say this is our newest character we've ever done in Hero Zero.
I think so, genuinely.
Also, at the same time, the hardest report ever done on Hero Zero.
Not a lot to go on. However,
he has handwritten notes for, I'm going to say, maybe 12 lines.
I have handwritten notes because the wiki isn't updated. I'm going to update it after this.
This is just, you're the one person running the wiki.
No, so I am talking about Charli Ramsey, aka Hawkeye.
Okay, I know the character of Hawkeye.
Yeah,
Jeremy Renner.
We're all on that app together.
I have the app, of course. I know Jeremy Renner. Please.
So it's a very brief primer. I did this in the Spider-Man report, but just as an overview, the Ultimate Universe is a universe where an evil version of Reed Richards stopped all superheroes basically from being created, and Iron Lad technically, is now going back and giving these heroes their origins years after they were supposed to have them, basically.
And another way to look at it is that Marvel decided that they were selling Spider-Man comics, and then they realised, well, we could double the sales if we say there's an Ultimate Spider-Man alongside the Spider-Man, sell a completely separate comic book with some completely separate storylines. That's double the monies.
And we write it well this time. What about that?
Because they kind of ran into an issue because they had the Spider-Man comics and they had written themselves into so many holes and so many wrong turns that they couldn't really get out of. But then the Ultimate Spider-Man universe, they were like, let's just start a new comic, man. Let's just forget everything that happened. Fuck, it'll be grand.
And so the mantle of Hawkeye obviously comes up in the Ultimate Universe. And the first time we hear about Hawkeye is through surveillance footage. So Iron Man, I'm just going to call him Iron Man because it's easier. Iron Man and Captain America are talking, and all of these Roxxon facilities, which is like big conglomerate, like oil drilling, manufacturing, fracking.
Yeah, the good guys.
Yeah,
go on.
You know, big business.
They're my heroes. Sure, this is the hero version. Go on.
There is a bunch of those facilities are being blown up, and it's all being done by one person.
Oh, no.
And the only eyewitness account, the only survivor from this stuff, is someone who says, no, it was Arrows. Arrows did this somehow. So, what Tony had done is he had sent the Hawkeye bow, all of the trick arrows, the Hawkeye outfit and armour and stuff like that, had sent all of that to Clint Barton. And he sent him a message, and it was like, Clint, you're meant to be a superhero, you're meant to have all of these skills. This is who you're meant to be. And Clint Barton throws it in the trash.
You're saying like the famous Hawkeye No More.
They literally do Hawkeye No More. It's hanging out with a bin. Like, it's that shot.
You can't just copy shit.
That's all of comics, man.
I suppose, yeah. If you don't know, there's the famous comic book panel of Spider-Man where he throws the Spider-Man suit in the bin. He's like, Spider-Man no more. And they kind of do it in Tobey Maguire's second movie.
Yeah, they kind of touch on it a little bit. So someone else then finds all of this Hawkeye gear and just starts using it to take down Roxxon off their own back.
But, like, you still have to be good at firing arrows, surely.
Well, we'll touch on that.
Well, coincidentally, the next person to find it is like the greatest marksman of all time.
Well, they are a good archer, but what Tony says is that Tony is begging. Tony in this story is like 18, like he is a child.
Right.
He is begging Captain America to be like, look, Cap, please just catch this person, because with the arrows that they have, they could take down an army on their own, even if they were untrained.
He gave them nuclear arrows.
He has arrows. He gave them arrows that would, like, follow around corners for 4 kilometers. Like, that could deliver the force of an atomic bomb in a single arrow.
Like the Guardians of the Galaxy whistle.
Yes, Yondu's arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just out there. Tony knows who has it. He's done the research on them. And is like, listen, I don't think they're... Tony has it, because he's 18, he thinks he knows everything. He has this hero score.
By the way, you just said, I'm getting bad vibes because you said he's 18 and he's done his own research. So
Tony could be radicalised very soon. We never know.
Go on.
Tony has this power score that he ascribes to heroes. And he's like, no, the person who found this bow, that like it's maybe a 10. Like they won't be helpful. They won't be good. I just need you to get the gear back. And Cap is like, but maybe they'd be helpful. You never know. Like, Roxxon's bad. They're taking down Roxxon. And Tony's like, no, please, just get it back. I can't have this on my conscience. And Cap is like, all right, I guess I'll go do this.
Okay.
And so we meet Charli Ramsey. So Charli Ramsey is Native American, trained with a bow, grew up watching cowboy films, westerns with their father, and got kind of liked the movies, but got kind of sick of the whole cowboys versus quote-unquote Indians narrative. And then saw Roxanne as the cowboys and his people as, you know, the Native Americans, which is fairly accurate to how things actually are.
I don't know, I think the oil guys were there first.
Do you think so? So, but they made a quote-unquote deal with his tribe and basically fucked them all over, like ruined the land. They couldn't do anything on
I'm
it.
shocked.
Who would have thought that the oil barons were to blame?
I always say, step one, don't blame them. It can't be their fault. Anyone with Baron in their title or name, they're always a good guy.
And so, also, throughout this report, Charli Ramsey is Two-Spirit, which is like I suppose the equivalent outside of Native American culture would be non-binary. So we're using they, them the whole time.
Cool. Just
so everyone's aware. And then Cap shows up and is like, hey, that doesn't belong to you. Give it back. And Cap's main argument is like, you're a kid. You're like 17. Like, this is a huge burden to take upon yourself to take down this one company. And Charli is like, okay, so now Captain America, basically the modern day cowboy, is going to come in and take stuff off the Native American kid. Is that what's happening here? And Cap's like, no, please.
Cap immediately goes to, I would have voted for Obama a third time as well, just to let you know, okay?
And so, but Charli doesn't see a difference at the minute between Captain America and the cowboys in those films.
Okay.
He argues, Captain America argues that, look, it wasn't meant for you. This isn't your thing. And Charli says, look, and sorry, Cap breaks down, look, Tony did this report. You're not meant to be a hero. And Charli is like, oh, but Clint was, and Clint gave up the thing of being a hero. Like that.
You can kind of see both sides. I think it's a good argument to be like, look, if we made it for you, then you can have it. But then the argument back is, well, technically, this land was ours before you took it, so this was made for us. So I don't know, Cap.
And so Charli says, no, it's my destiny. I had a vision about this.
Okay, so, well, that's not a strong argument.
Cap says, that wasn't a vision, that was a hologram of Tony talking to Clint Barton, telling him that this was his destiny.
Cap straight to the point.
Look, he's got all the facts, to be fair to him. But Charli fires back with, I'm not a fucking idiot, I know that.
Oh.
But he was raised to believe that a vision, it's not about the message, it's about who receives it. So Clint received that message and said no to the call to action, basically.
I suppose you are trying to fit a few round pegs into a square hole there, just kind of using a message for maybe something else to
you're really
use
trying to
your
keep
own
all
needs.
the cool arrows.
Yeah, mostly he has a cool bag of cool arrows, and he's like, this has to be for me.
Throughout all this philosophical discussion about like identity and origin and like destiny, Cap is dodging all of the trick arrows that Charli can pull from their quiver. Like, there's one that stops momentum, and Charli fires it straight at the shield, like hits it in midair. There's arrows curving around corners and just slamming Captain America.
I mean, the question everyone is thinking though, is there an arrow with a boxing glove on it?
Not so far, but you know,
that's their most powerful arrow. So you got to keep that in the quiver.
That's well known. known. The one time they did that in Arrow, that was fantastic.
Amazing.
That's all I wanted from that. So as they're having this discussion, the thing is that the message, it's not about what's being said, it's about who receives the message. Charli heard that and determined it was their destiny, and they were willing to take up the mantle. So clearly it was meant for them. That's how fate and destiny works, because you have a choice, basically.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to turn you around with this one quote, okay?
Please.
And this is why I love Charlie Ramsey so much, because they say, I don't care if I had to dig my destiny out of a dumpster, it's still mine.
Oh, that's hard. That's pretty hard now, to be
That's
fair.
pretty good, right?
Yeah, it still makes no sense, but pretty hard. You gotta go with it.
I don't know what you're talking about. So after this, they kind of they stop fighting Cap and Hawkeye.
See, I don't think Cap ever was fighting. I just think Cap has in my head, Cap has his hands in his pockets throughout this whole conversation.
Well, Cap isn't trying to kill a 17-year-old for a mistake that Tony Stark made, you know?
Yeah, Tony would. Cap would not.
Tony would kill immediately, that's true. Yeah. Which is why Cap is the right one to send. Also mirrors the mainline. Hawkeye used to be a villain in the mainline Earth 616 universe. But Cap, talked him round, and then they became very good pals on the Avengers and stuff.
Yeah.
So this is like this, but I suppose modernised a little bit. But as they're starting to genuinely talk, Roxxon soldiers come in and try and apprehend both of them. So in the Ultimate Universe, the Ultimates, which is the team of superheroes, they're seen as terrorists. And Charli is obviously seen as a terrorist as well, because they are blowing up Roxxon facilities.
That does seem like something a terrorist would do.
But they are bad as well, you know? Roxxon is bad.
Is it a terrorist if you're causing terror to the lads who are bigger terrorists? Question.
See, and look, that's mainly what I wanted to talk about on this Hero Zero. I think we sort all this out here tonight and we'll be done.
Okay.
And so they end up fighting together. Steve ends up really liking Charli. I was like, hey, look, you're a good person. I know where your heart is.
Like the cut of your jib.
I like the cut of your jib. Other 40s sayings.
Yeah.
And then Steve says to Charli, oh, nice job, Hawkeye. And then Charli fires back with, wait, what did you call me?
Yeah.
And Cap is like, Hawkeye. And Charli says, my tribal name is Charlie Hawk's Eyes. To which Cap responds, really? And then Charli says, nah, I'm just fucking with you.
Good.
If that was played straight, that's the worst thing in this report.
That's one of the worst things I've ever heard, if that is completely straight.
But when it's just Charli taking the piss out of an old man, hilarious.
I think any sort of situation where Cap is the butt of the joke for being an old man who doesn't quite get it, that's always good.
Yeah, like he doesn't understand the reference.
Yeah.
So Cap and Charli trust each other. Cap signs off on Charli joining the Ultimates, and then issue 5 happens, which I haven't read yet. In terms of powers and abilities, they are a very good archer, and they have a bow and some arrows.
This is the best report ever.
There's one issue of content here.
I don't think this, you know what, I'm quite impressed that you're after getting 18 minutes out of one issue of comic books.
That's pretty alright, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll take that.
It takes me twice that long to read them. Can't read.
Amazing. I have no idea how you've done this with one issue. Well, to be fair, do you remember I did that one issue in Egg Foo, but that was for different reasons.
It's true. And look, there's 2 ways to approach characters from a different culture.
Yeah. Obviously, Egg Foo was more sensitively handled.
Of course.
Yeah. If you don't know who Egg Foo is, maybe look up a 1960s comic starring Wonder Woman and a giant egg who is Asian.
Any comic book character that has a Wikipedia entry titled Controversy.
Yeah, that's mostly Egg Foo, yeah. He's got at least 3 of them.
Yeah, they kept being racist with him.
And they kept remaking him, and then what, he's a robot but still Asian? He's an egg.
It's like, we need to keep that for sure.
They're rewriting, they're like, well look, he is of Asian descent. Well, he's an egg, so he can just be an egg, I suppose.
But that's where Charli Ramsey sits at the minute. And I think, genuinely, such a good interpretation of Hawkeye. Every Hawkeye interpretation, apart from Clint Barton, I really, really enjoy.
Yeah, what's the deal with Clint Barton? I've heard you said before, he's grad.
He's grand. There's a couple of really good comics. There's one that's told entirely in like sign language and visual language because Clint Barton is deaf. That kind of shit is really cool. But a lot of the time, he's just kind of there.
Which is actually kind of perfect, because even in the movies, that's who Jeremy Renner plays him as. He's the guy who's there. He's just around.
Yeah, apart from Infinity War, when he's the deadliest assassin in Tokyo.
Sorry, no, I do, yeah. He got real sad.
It's like they read the comics and were like, oh, he was Ronin for a minute. I guess we could do
he could be a fucking killer, but then that only gets 60 seconds of screen time. And
Scarlett and a terrible tattoo.
Yeah, he does have. Well, the hair in that was fucking hairing though. Fair play to him.
Charli Ramsey, really good hair, I will say.
Really good hair.
Yeah, it's like what they wanted Hawkeye to be in Infinity War, but it's just really good.
Like shaved sides,
big ponytail.
Ooh, strong.
One strand in the front.
You gotta respect Renner for going for it though. He was like, I'm shaving the sides of my head. I'm looking ridiculous. This is the character.
But we all encouraged him to do it on the app, of course. So.
I mean, we were all on the app getting points. I was getting those gems, Jeremy Renner gems.
Gemini Renner, of course.
I gave him hundreds of my euros.
Never got back to me, weirdly enough.
I never got back to me, and I didn't make rent, and I got evicted. But at the same time, I was like, it's coming back. And Renner's going to get back to me any day now.
But if anyone is like trying to get into comics at the minute, and say you just listen to this because you like hearing about characters, genuinely, just read the Ultimates from 2024 and you'll be fine. It's
also a very good time to get involved with them because, especially with Christmas coming up, good Christmas present. If you know someone, maybe a friend or a younger relative who maybe is into comic books, then you can be like, this is a good Christmas present. Get them like a little, maybe 2 issues, 3 issues, just kind of a read through. What you don't want is you don't want to get one random issue like issue 5. And then they're like, I don't know what happened in the previous 4.
But it's still new enough that you can get issue 1. There's 4 Ultimate publications running at the minute. So you have the Ultimates, you have Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate X-Men, which is just mutants are contained in one. They only appear in one area of the world. It's really cool.
Right.
And then Ultimate Black Panther as well.
What could be cool is maybe get them like the first issue of like 2 of them.
Yeah. And just be like, oh, here's this new world.
Yeah, and like pick which one you like, and then you can kind of just buy a few more of them if you want to, because it then becomes like a monthly thing.
Yeah, and it's like I've read all the first issue, and they're all really good. And then I just decided to stick with Spider-Man and the Ultimates because of who I am
okay,
as a person.
my question to you is, how long are we giving it before it goes off the rails?
Oh my god! So the whole thing is on a time limit. So within the big event in canon takes place 2 years after the first issue. They said, we have 2 years to prepare for this.
I say we get another 9 months of good stories and then it goes off the edge.
Yeah, and then after that, I think they might just freewheel for a while.
I think it's going to convolute completely near the end of the 2 years.
If the original Ultimate Comics are anything to go by, yes, of course that will happen.
So Magneto
made a big flood.
While it's good.
Get in now and enjoy it. It's great.
Yeah. So if you like this episode, by the way, shout out to Shaun for doing a whole report handwritten. I'm amazed at that.
Thanks,
but yeah, if you like this report, we have done hundreds of other characters covering DC and Marvel and all sorts of stuff. You can just find any of them on Spotify. And if you have a character that we haven't done, just message us and we'll add it to the list. This one was a little weird because Shaun didn't get recommended this. He just likes this character. I
pulled rank on this one.
He did pull rank. So if you have a character, as I said, send it in to us on Instagram, on Facebook, just on all the social media apps. And most importantly, I think the main thing is just tell one human being that we exist.
Just the one, please.
So I've been Conor Lawler.
I've been Shaun Meehan.
And we shall see you all next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.